realize that out of the 6 adults, 5 of us have been divorced. So at some point we figure we're just gonna sit the kids down and be like, sometimes when mommies and daddies love somebody else for a little while before they love the mommies and daddies, this is what happens. But it hasn't happened yet, and we probably should have done it when they were like 5, because now they're a little bit older and it'll probably be a total mind blow. But it's such a crazy story that I'm divorced, because I was super young. I was like 20 something, and my boyfriend and I wanted to live together, and my dad just freaked out, like didn't want that to happen. So my idiot boyfriend proposed to help stem the family onslaught. And I was so young that I'm like, oh yeah, so instead of like this made-for-TV movie that I'm living in right now with all this like screaming and yelling, I could be at like a big party that's all about me and I get presents. Like that's how young I was, that was my thought process at the time. So we go ahead with this wedding, and I mean now I have kids, and if any of them come up to me like before the age of 30, no, you don't know. It's like it's just too young. So to save money, we had it in my parents' backyard. This was like in the early 90s, which is really technically the 80s. So I have like, the Statue of Liberty bride, my first and last strapless bra, springy things that are coming out of here. And for some reason, for my dress, I got the front cut shorter than the back, so like a bell. Like it looked like you could just clang my feet. It was like a mullet dress. Who knows why? Pictures exist of this. So to save money, we get married in my parents' backyard, which was in Palos Hills, emphasis on the hills, because they put in a temporary wooden, dance floor. So if there's any tilt there, things are gonna happen. So there's like a 5-degree angle on the dance floor, and my dad, maybe he's still like in revenge mode at this point, he is sprinkling that can of dance wax they give you liberally. So people are just sliding like all over. Like this wedding was crazy. If it was anybody's wedding but my wedding, I would have loved it. And I kind of love it even though it was my wedding. Like people were playing football with a zucchini in my mother's garden. Bridesmaids and groomsmen are hooking up everywhere. I'm looking at the kitchen like, well, I didn't see those two together. That's interesting. My brother takes off with a bridesmaid's friend back to Champaign like that night. Like what was happening? My grandmother actually broke her knee on the slippery dance floor. Fortunately, I was already ensconced at the fabulous Oaklawn Hilton by that point for my wedding night. I mean, there are all these signs that this is not the best idea anybody ever had in the world. And just because I was so young, and so pretty soon this occurred to me that this was not the best idea. And I'm like, you know what, I'm 25, I can't get divorced from my Elizabeth Taylor? Like, that just seemed crazy. How long am I gonna stick this out? But I sure enough I did it. I actually got divorced on the day of my 10th high school reunion, and I'm such a drama queen. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go to court in the morning, then I'm gonna do my 10th year high school reunion. Because that was like, birth to life, just get it all in there. It was weird. It was a weird day. But, in a way, so I was always like, I didn't want to get divorced, and now I had like a checklist, like, well, if I ever do this again, I'm gonna know the guy longer than a year, that'll be good. Not live together, be in line with like kids and stuff like that. So it took like over a decade before I got married again. I did get married again, and I worked in publishing for a long time. My husband and I got married, we had twins, I stayed home, I started freelancing, and then I started working for The Onion, which is where I work now. I'm the world's oldest Onion employee. I work with a lot of 20-somethings, and to them, divorce is the greatest thing in the world. They'll tell you, they're like, oh my God, we're begging my parents to get divorced. Like, they're staying together for the kids. It was so miserable. None of them wanted to get ever married ever. And then their parents got divorced, then they're like, oh, finally, like a grown-up adult relationship. And now they're like all on board with it. And I'm like, that is so interesting, because I was so against it. But now, I realized that, it was a good thing, and it was definitely a good thing for me. So it's like 2013, I'm freelancing for it's the AV Club for The Onion. They have that hideout block party that they don't have anymore, so I never got to go as an actual staff member. But I started freelancing, and I go with my husband, and this person comes up to me and is like, oh my God, Gwen, And I'm looking at this person, and I just started freelancing for them, so I thought maybe it was like a person online that I'd worked with, and they just put our pictures on the website. I'm like, well, maybe somebody recognizes me, I don't know. And my husband's looking at me like, who is this guy? And I'm looking, and my hand to God, I'm like this close to saying, I'm sorry. It was my ex-husband. Not even lying. Because, we've all gained weight, he had a mustache, but his eyes looked the same. That's the only thing that saved me, because I was like this close. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I have to say, Brian, this is the other Brian I was married to at the same age. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. That makes things easier somehow. And he had his daughters with him, and we showed him pictures of our kids, and and it was funny. And I remember like, oh yeah, you were funny, or like I wasn't crazy. I was just super young and stupid. Like, you're a nice person. So we caught up, we walked away, and my husband goes, he was a really nice guy. And I'm like, yeah, he really was. Thank you.